All right, today we are jumping headfirst into a really powerful way of looking at the world that completely reframes our relationship with, well, one of the biggest tyrants in our lives, time itself. This is all based on a pretty fascinating work called vector cosmology, and it gives us a totally new way to think about our past, our present, and our future. So let's get into it. You know this feeling, right? We all do. Time is this relentless river, just washing everything away. Empires, love, our own memories. It's the source of some of our deepest fears, this kind of fatalism that says, hey, we're all just here to be devoured in the end. But here's the core idea, the big rebellion we're exploring today. What if that view of time is only half the story? What if we actually have the power to say no to that fate, to stand up against that current?
To fight back, you've got to know your enemy first. So let's properly introduce this classical idea of time that not only governs physics, but more importantly, it governs our anxieties about everything coming to an end.
The ancient Greeks had a name for this, Chronos. This is the T you see in all the physics equations, and it's directly linked to entropy, which, is really just a fancy scientific term for the universe's tendency to go from order to disorder. Think a sandcastle becoming a pile of sand. It is, quite simply, the countdown to decay. So if Chronos is the only game in town, then life looks pretty bleak, doesn't it? It's just a slow, grinding process of losing everything you care about. Every second that ticks by is just one step closer to disorder and, well, oblivion. It's a truly nihilistic picture. Okay, but now for the revolution. We are not slaves to time. We are the minters of time. Let's dig into this powerful alternative, which is really the core metaphor for this whole philosophy. And this is Kairos. See, Kairos isn't about quantity, it's all about quality. Think about those moments that feel heavier, that feel longer than whole years. The first time you fell in love, or that sudden flash of creative genius. In those moments, time doesn't just flow away, it crystallizes. It becomes something permanent. And here's where it all becomes crystal clear. When you put them side by side, Chronos is that passive, flowing river of decay. But Kairos? That's an active creation of meaning. It's like turning raw, worthless ore into a solid gold coin. One is what happens to us, the other is what we do. So this brings us to the actual process, which is kind of like alchemy. We take the raw material, these flowing, meaningless moments of Chronos, and then, using the furnace of our own consciousness, through intense focus, through love, creation, or deep thought, we stamp them. We mince them into memories and insights that become part of this eternal treasury we're building. Okay, this all sounds great, but there's a catch. This power isn't free. Nothing is. To be a minter of time, you have to pay the rent. So let's look at the cosmic economics of what it costs just to be here. I absolutely love this quote because it's so direct. You don't own your body or your consciousness, you're renting them. Life is basically a subscription model, and every single moment requires a payment just to keep your own structure from being reclaimed by chaos. You can almost break this down into a personal, cosmic balance sheet. On one side, you've got your assets, your body, your memories, all the order you've created. But on the other side, you've got your liabilities, and that's just entropy, that constant, nagging pull towards decay. Your choices and your actions, that's the currency you use to build your assets and fight back against your liabilities. Now this completely flips the script on what aging is. It's not about how many years have passed. It's about a kind of cosmic inflation. As you get older, the cost of just maintaining your order, your assets, it goes up and up. You have to spend more and more energy just to stay the same, until eventually you just can't afford the rent anymore. So, wait a minute. If we're all just destined for bankruptcy, then what's the point? What's the point of minting all these beautiful gold coins if the mint itself is scheduled for demolition? Well, this is where we learn to refuse the end. In physics, the second law of thermodynamics is like a cold, hard judge. It's the inescapable rule that says energy spreads out and things fall apart. A hot cup of coffee always cools down, right? And that law sentences all ordered things, including us, to eventually break down. It's the final verdict from the world of Chronos. And here is the dramatic turn. Just when you think the verdict is final, quantum mechanics walks into the courtroom. While the physics of big stuff says everything must decay, a deeper, more fundamental set of rules, the physics of the very, very small, offers a stunning appeal. And it's based on a principle so foundational, it can actually veto the death sentence. The core idea here is that information is conserved. It can't be truly destroyed, ever. So when you die, the information that makes you, your memories, your personality, your consciousness, it doesn't just poof out of existence. It just undergoes a change in state. Think of it like a focused, bright laser beam dispersing into a diffuse background glow. The light is absolutely still there. It's just in a different, less concentrated form. And this brings us to a really profound conclusion. Death is a change in format, not a deletion. The information is still there, but our current limited senses, we just can't read it anymore. It's like a book that's been dissolved in the ocean. To us, the reader, it's gone, but not a single molecule of ink is lost to the ocean itself. Knowing this changes everything. I mean, if the game doesn't actually end, then how should we play it? This shifts our entire perspective away from mere survival towards something so much grander. This reveals the new rules of the game we're in. So many of us live our lives playing a finite game, We're trying to win at life, get the promotion, buy the house, before it's over. But this philosophy argues that the universe is an infinite game. The real objective isn't to win, it's simply to keep the game going and maybe make it a little richer, a little more interesting for the players who come after us. So that ultimate goal, you can call it God or enlightenment or the Omega point, whatever you want, it's like a necessary illusion. It's a vanishing point in the horizon. It's not a real destination we're ever supposed to reach. Its only purpose is to give our journey a direction, to pull us forward. Okay, so what do we do with all this? How do we apply it? This is the final piece of wisdom, the one that brings all these cosmic concepts right back down to earth, right back to you, right here, right now. This is it. This is the final, powerful metaphor that just flips our entire understanding of purpose completely on its head. We spend so much time thinking we're supposed to find some pre-existing target out there in the world to aim for. But that's the thinking of a poor archer. And this is the ultimate takeaway. Stop looking for your purpose. Stop worrying if you've made the right choice. Shoot your arrow. Act. Commit to something. Love someone. Create something. Because meaning isn't something you find. It is something you create. Wherever your will lands, that is the center of the universe. Where you stand is the bullseye.